It is Colette with Rich Girls Inc. And I am up at the Welk Resort in San Diego. I've just spent the whole week up here, and I just wanted to take some time to talk to you about where your love comes from and where you get your self-worth. So, this is a bittersweet week for me. This is the first week I've ever been up here without at least one of my grandparents. I have been coming to this resort since I was about 12 years old with my grandparents. They've been owners, they own a timeshare here, every week in April, and they would bring me up here and we would do crafts and puzzles and spend time together and go to dinner and chat and hang out. And it was one of my favorite times during the year. It was something that I looked forward to every single year. My grandparents were one of the few people in my life who loved me just for me and who never tried to change me. They always were willing to give me love and hugs and affection, and I just felt very loved and cared for by them. So about 8 years ago, they got to the point where they could no longer care for themselves, and so I became their caregiver. And so I would take care of them and, make sure they ate and their medicine. And my grandpa has Alzheimer's, and my grandma had diabetes and heart disease. So I spent the last 8 years taking care of them. And I would bring them up here, and I actually bought a timeshare week for myself up here in December. So I would take them up here twice a year for the week, and it was always just such a wonderful way to spend time with them. So back to the love. When they first got to that point where they couldn't take care of themselves, it was really, really hard for me, and I went through a really tough time. I was very depressed. I felt very unloved. I felt like no one would ever love me again. I felt that they were the only ones who would ever really love me for who I was inside, and just totally accepting of me. And I hit a really low point with where I was. And so I just want to share this message with you. If you're in that place where you're just feeling like no one's ever going to love you, and no one's ever going to see your value and your worth, and who's never going to see the real you, and that you have to kind of put on this, I don't want to say false front, but you have to be a certain way and show up in a certain way to get acceptance and love from the world. It's not true. There are so many people in this world who will love you just for who you are and accept you just for who you are. But if you never show them that real you because you're afraid of judgment, or you're afraid that they won't understand, or you're afraid that they're just not going to see you in a positive light, then you're not going to have true friends. And you're not going to feel connection to people, because you're going to, I always felt that I was never really close to very many people because I was afraid to share the real me. I had gone through a lot of judgment when I was growing up in school, and not having a lot of friends, and changing schools all the time, and so people already had their friends picked out, and it was really, it was a challenge for me back then to really connect with people. And so I had to learn so many lessons, but the main lesson is that when you show up exactly who you are and not show up in a way that you think you have to be, that's when the real connections happen. And the people that aren't going to be your friends, that's okay, because people make friends based on similarities and commonalities, and it's not a personal thing if you don't have that connection. If you're being the true you, if you're showing up exactly as you are, then you're going to connect with those people that have the same values and the same interests, and it's going to be very authentic. and you're going to have a connection because you're not trying to pretend to be something you're not to make people like you. And then the other lesson that took a long time for me to learn is that for me to feel loved, my love and my self-worth comes from me, and it comes from inside of me. And once I can love and accept myself, then I'll feel the love and acceptance from other people that I was blocking. Because a lot of times I was blocking people's love because I didn't think that I was worthy of it. So once I started to love and accept myself, suddenly the world was a very loving, accepting place. Because that's what I was receiving. I was allowing myself to receive that love that was always probably there, but I wasn't allowing it because I didn't feel it inside of myself. So yeah, I just wanted to share my story with you, and hope that it helps you maybe a little bit if you're going through something similar. If you're feeling that you're you're needing people to love you, or if you really want a boyfriend, or if you want a partner, or if you really want, you're looking for love, you're probably not going to feel it even if it's there if you're not giving it to yourself first. So that's what I love teaching people. I love sharing my tools and my lessons and how I got from that place of feeling worthless and like no one was going to love me and I couldn't show up as who I really was, to having awesome friendships and connection with people and being truly who I am. All the things I was trying to hide from myself, I was hiding from other people so that I couldn't show up authentically, and being okay with all of that. A lot of processes there that I learned, and I love sharing them with people. So feel free to email me with any questions, Colette, Colette, at richgirlsinc.com. You can also join my Facebook group. It's a great place to get some support from people. It's Rich Girls Inc. Facebook group, Making Your Life Richer. And yeah, just feel free to connect with me. I love connecting with people and sharing my tools and my processes and my lessons. So yeah, I'm going to go finish enjoying my last day up here at the resort. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.